So how was practice today? What are you guys working on, focus on particularly?
Reviewing our defense, our principles, making sure we focus on rebounding, adding some layers defensively to continue to just add to our package, and then offensively a little on the ball, off the ball for our group. And so really intense practice. Guys are spirited. I know it's been a lot we're throwing at them, but they're picking it up and they're getting better and better.
You talked about everybody being spirited, but one name that's really stood out is Herb Jones. Does it feel like he's ready maybe to take a step forward in both not just leadership, but on the court, what it gives you as well?
He is. He's leading this group. He's becoming a bit more vocal. He's a quiet guy. That's just his nature, but he's a bit more vocal. And the biggest thing is he's doing it by example. That's who he's been since he's stepped foot in our building. High character, works hard. He competes night in and night out, and our group is following him.
We see Zion and Trey over there working on like some two-man reps. Just how important is it for them to get these early reps in, and how much of a role is that going to play like in your offense just this year, those two guys?
Yeah, it's important. It's important. Sometimes we think we could just step on a floor and it comes together, but it's really about working with different combinations, getting on the floor together, seeing how, what works for us and sticking with that, looking at things that we can improve on. But, the two-man combinations that we'll see sometimes, guys working together, looking at different, nuances of the game, talking through it, that's extremely helpful on both ends of the floor.
Not sure if this is the last time we'll talk to you before you guys leave for Australia, but is it too early to talk about, like, playing time during preseason, like how you distribute minutes, like, how many guys you play, stuff like that?
Yeah, not yet. We're not there yet. We got a long flight to think about it, but eventually we'll get to a point where we start looking at how many minutes we want to play guys and what's our rotations looking like.
Some of the players have talked about, in terms of their excitement to see Australia, kind of like different animals they want to see and stuff like that. Or and other guys have said, like, I want to stay in the hotel. I don't want to get near some of these dangerous animals. Is there stuff like that you're looking forward to doing, like some different nights and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to experiencing a different country. I haven't been there before. I'm looking forward to the fan engagement, fan interaction. I'm hearing that everyone's excited. We're excited to be able to have this opportunity. It's such a blessing when you really look at it in totality. So we're going to go. We're going to try to, continue to work hard and compete, but try to enjoy it as well. And I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to see anything outside of, like, practice and meetings and, a couple dinners would be nice, but I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to, get to see some of those animals these guys are talking about.
Do you have a feel at all for how huge the fan base in Australia is for the NBA? It seems like the last few years in particular, we hear from people from Australia more and more. It just seems like that country, the fan base is just increasing.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to the NBA and, they're being intentional about making the game as global as possible. And Australia is one of those countries that we've seen a number of really good basketball players, Dyson and Patty Mills, and I can go on, a longer list, but we've seen some really good players come from the country, and so they're excited about the game. We're excited to go there and compete, and try to enjoy it as well.
What's been most surprising for you about Jeremiah Fear so far?
Say it again.
What's been most surprising for you about Jeremiah Fear so far?
His ability he just doesn't back down from anything. He's tough. He wants to grow and get better. He's extremely talented, and the fact that he's doing this at 18 years old it's incredible. Most of us couldn't touch the surface that he's on right now, and the fact that he can do this so young, he has a maturity about him that I love. He goes about his work. He comes in every day. He's getting after it. So just a lot of, I have a lot of compassion, and I'm grateful for the things that he's able to do at this age. And then it's still our responsibility to help him navigate this.
Willie, I know you were asked about the starting lineup yesterday, and you don't want to delve into that yet, but I'm curious, what do you want to see out of your starting center? Because you seem to have two really good options in both Eves, who started last year, and of course, Kavan, what he did over at Golden State.
Number one, anchoring our defense. Early, loud, and continuous communication. Being a big that, can guard and pick and rolls. Can execute multiple coverages, competing is rebounding, competing is getting up the floor, setting screens. And so those are just some of the concepts that we want, but it's really about who's going to give us the best opportunity to win games.
In the past, you've opted to use versatile lineups with a lot of switchy defenders and to increase the spacing. You have Saddiq Bey on the team now. Do you feel like you might be able to hit that button again if you want to turbocharge your offense or just speed up the defense a little more?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will have multiple guys that we can put on the floor that gives us that type of spacing offensively, but really just the defensive mindset. We can get steals and deflections. We can rebound. We can get out and run. And so we're going to continue to work with some of those groups for sure.
Obviously, the league changes every single year, but how much of training camp is still like an emphasis on the basics of spacing, pace, just the fundamentals, as opposed to introducing new concepts?
I think the biggest part in training camp, it starts with the mentality to have a competitive edge. And then you sort of build out from there. Now you build out how you want to defend. What's our rebounding technique? Being a protect the paint team, contesting shots at a high level. You build out your offense, playing fast, rebounding the ball, getting to space, setting good screens, sharing the basketball. But it starts, all of those tie into the competition for us. And so we want to be a team that steps on the floor every night and give ourselves an opportunity to win. So we're just working on some of those concepts. But first, it starts with the mentality of competing night in and night out.